It's time.
Kablooey!
All right, here we go.
The Cocktail Show.
Get ready to have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
This is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, I like that.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Ooh.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Cocktail Show.
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary. But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's Gary Meier.
3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour live.
Cocktails. Woo! Drinks.
We're streaming live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central on April 7th, 2023.
And of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa.
The best way to watch this show is the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
YouTube. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Please like and share the show on all the social media channels.
Comments during the live show, wherever we are streaming, can be seen in our virtual studio
And we may show them on the screen.
and or talk about them.
Now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Come on. Leslie, putting the good karma out there.
Can't we all just get along?
Here we go. Boom. Shakalaka.
No, we can't get along. That's why we do this. We have to get to Friday to drink and go, that Fugazi out there, we don't care. Happy Good Friday. I don't know why it's called Good Friday. My Messiah was crucified on this day, and somehow they went, let's call it Good Friday. This is the day. Well, let me do the sequences. We can't start doing stuff here. We're not airborne officially. I'm going to kick the tires, light them up, Alan. And one more thing has to happen, and we know what that is. Leslie has to remove her condom. Hello.
I do.
Look
Too
at
much?
you.
Is it too much? Is it?
No,
I mean, it is our
not
Easter
enough.
show,
It
our
is,
pre-Easter
Yeah.
warm up. So yeah, no, it's totally not
Why
going
not?
to be
Come
staying
on.
on. Well, I got a rabbit in the background. I got a lot of stuff for you. Glorioski's. What the hell?
What are you talking
we got
Greek?
some.
Okay, now that
I
you
know
talk Greek,
we have great giveaways today. Thanks to some of our viewers. I mean, you got to see the prize package we put together
will.
today. It's going to be fantastic. But in the meantime, starting with a decoy Chardonnay, and we got some nice build up. So
you got some bounce there. Here it goes. Whoa!
over the shoulder. Almost hit the bunny rabbit.
You almost hit the rabbit. You did. All right. It is official. Wheels are up. And this is, I was saying, you were talking Greek there. My friend George, I talked to him today and I said, so what are you doing for Easter on Sunday? This is not the real Easter. It's next week. Greek Easter. That's the real Easter. Madon, we can't agree on anything with anything. Okay.
Although it is Passover and Ramadan.
Yes, it is that too. Everything's spinning now. It's all kinds of religious stuff spinning. But in the Christian religion, this is the day when God said, look what they did to my boy. Is this true? Where on Good Friday, this urban legend, folklore, whatever you call it, that at 3:00, even if it's sunny all day up until 3:00, whatever time zone you're in, at 3:00 your time, that clouds roll in because that's when Jesus died on the cross?
It went completely black where he was when he was, but it happens a lot. But I have to say that here in the Chicago area, it did not. It stayed sunny all day.
Okay.
So
and
6 more weeks of spring or something.
Okay, wait. You said it happened. You have some proof of this, that they've done charts and you've seen the charts and it does happen.
No, it's spring. There's a tendency for things to cloud over and for us to have rain. I don't think there's anything in Christian dogma or doctrine that plays that. happens. Yeah.
Alan's really working the sound effects this evening. Coming up later, Swirsky and Mascow. It sounds like a law firm. It's Chuck Swarsky, as you heard in the intro there, and I'm being David Muir repetitious. Chuck Swirsky, the voice of the Chicago Bulls, and Mike Mascow, our good friend, the proprietor of Roast to Order Coffee and Tea. And he's going to give away some gift cards and talk about some things that are going on with Roast to Order. All right. So we were off last week and we white knuckled it. At least I did for a few days. Got a bad cold and it's on the tail end. And I think this drink, my Manhattan, is going to knock it out, do the final knockout of my cold.
Daddy's medicine.
Yeah, I got my medicine, and there's that COVID spore. I have a COVID test, and I was this close. Can you see how close my fingers are to taking the test? But I want to see if I can just not ever take a test and just say I never had it. I've got the vaccinations. I got the googly eyes. I'm good. What are the symptoms?
Based on what we heard, and it's congestion. I mean, it's a cough. It's a chronic cough. But you had a cold. Have you lost your sense of smell?
Just my sense of humor. Have you noticed?
No,
this
you
week?
never lost that.
No.
If you heard the show when you really were suffering, I mean, you laughed right through the pain on that one.
I did.
So
that's what I do. I'm so weird about attendance. I would have had a perfect attendance in high school. I was into the last 2 weeks of my senior year, and I thought, I'm not going to get up on stage and get that as my only award. As you may know from listening to this program, when they sent the piece of paper around in my senior year to list all the activities that I had done so they could put it underneath my graduation picture, I'm sitting there and going, I got nothing. I didn't join any clubs. I'm not a club joiner. Well, I didn't do activities. I was in a band all through high school. That was my activity.
That's a thing. That's fair.
But I didn't want nothing under my picture. And I thought, okay, I'll write something down. So I put badminton 2 and rugby 3. Neither of those things were included in the school's activities. And I thought, what the hell? At least I won't hand in a blank piece of paper. They're never going to print this. Yearbook comes out, open it up, Garry Meier, badminton 2, rugby 3. So I had that going for me, which is nice.
How did the parents take this?
They didn't care. I mean, at this point,
okay.
This was...
Well, they had what? They had 12 children at this point.
Six. Yeah. And back then, it wasn't the helicopter parent. It was you have them, you put them out on the street until sunset, and they usually come back not in a body bag. Day's accomplished. Everything's good. That was parenting back then. Yeah.
And honestly, they found that there's value in some free ranging.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Okay, now I'm going to go back to that moment when I would bring my yearbook home and my dad comes home from working 12 hours. Hey, Dad, you want to see my yearbook picture? Come on. This is a man who fought in World War II. Really? I don't think he ever saw my yearbook.
No, but he did make it to parent-teacher conference. We found out that he did do that and asked if Valley of the Dolls was required reading.
I'm going to reset this story. I've told it a number of times. This is one of the most embarrassing things that can happen to you as a teen. And it involved my college prep English teacher who was right out of college. Maybe she was 22, 23 and attractive. And should I tell the tight pants story first or the father going to the conference? Because it's the same teacher.
Well, and one kind of leads to another, and you're good at brevity. So,
okay. Thank you. I don't ramble. I don't. I promise you.
No.
Okay, so I'm sitting in study hall. I'm in the back row. I'll never forget this moment. And it's quiet and just kind of looking around. And I see my college prep English teacher come in and whisper something to the person sitting there monitoring all of us goofballs. And then they look towards me. And I'm thinking, oh, because this is that teacher that's attractive. Ooh, Papa. And they go, and I get up and she goes, follow me down to the counselor's office. I go, oh, okay. And I get in this room and, oh, God, I can't believe I thought I should rub this a long time ago.
It's one of those memories you'll never forget.
They sat me down and said, we think your pants are too tight. And it's one of those out of body moments where you're thinking, this ain't happening. Now, what was popular back then was shark skin, and it changed colors as you moved. And I had several pairs of shark skin pants and threw them in the wash. And I thought because it's shark skin, it wouldn't shrink because a shark would be 5 inches long if their skin shrank all the time in the water. How about the logic? Got the logic.
It seems fair.
So I put them on after that washing and they were tight, but I thought I paid a good amount of money for these. I'm going to get my use out of them. Apparently somebody was looking at me in my tight pants. I'm thinking, well, that's odd. Who's looking down there?
You should have turned it around. What do you look? What are you doing staring down there?
What? You have a dirty mind?
Here.
Yeah. You looking at me with your dirty mind? Okay, so then dial to the parent-teacher conference where the parents would go to all of your classes, and my mother and father split up duties, and mother went to some, father went to others. Father ends up in this class with this teacher. And at the end, I guess she said, are there any questions? And he raises his hand. Is Valley of the Dolls required reading for this class? Now, I worked at a drugstore, and we would get these paperbacks in, and the guy that distributed them, he would come in, and if they were kind of out of the frame of when they wanted to sell them, they'd throw them in a bin and they'd kind of sit there to go, take whatever you want. So I took that one home and I'm reading it. And back then, Valley of the Dolls was woo, woo, woo.
Oh, it was spicy.
Right. It was about pill addiction and sex and all that. And so I don't know what she said. I think she said no. So he comes home and tells me this. And I'm thinking, I got to go back to class the next day and face this woman. Now I got 2 strikes, my tight pants. And now I'm reading sex books. So where am I going with this?
I don't know, but she had somebody walk her to her car for the rest of the semester.
Yeah. Oh God, that was embarrassing.
Oh, that Meier kid. I don't know.
I mean, only me, right? Only I could have this stuff. But I came to realize that when something bad happens, I didn't know I was going into radio at the time, but as I got into radio, I thought, I've got all these great stories where something bad happened, and I got 10 minutes of material out of them. Gold, Jerry, gold.
We're at the 13-minute, almost 14-minute mark. Yeah, see? And yet you did tie it into a perfect little package there. Oh, speaking of perfect little packages.
They said, when I sat down, you have a perfect little package, and we don't like it. Okay, let me say hello. Let's pull some people up on the screen. Alan, Kellyanne is going to get going here with this one. I don't know how many times the cock crowed, but my schnauzer barked multiple times. I'll bet it did. Okay, let's all right. Should we bring Ryan on now and talk about the Passion of the Christ? Or Ryan, stand by. I'm going to you because things have gotten way too woke for my taste and a lot of people's taste, and it's just getting weirder by the day. All right, David R. was the first besides Kellyanne to check in. How's David R. doing? I don't know what I will think if I'm not able to find the schnauzer Sunday morning. Hello from Oakland, Illinois. Are you going to hide your schnauzer, David?
We had some earlier ones that I captured in the studio too. We've got Charles from
WRLR.
There you go.
Take your schnauzer for a walk, sure.
And our buddy Martin up in British Columbia is here too.
How's he doing? Hey, Martin, good to see you from BC. And I see who else? Oh, let me just put on the screen door while I'm talking. It's been a week. What do I do? Is that right? That's the way I have the graphic. Because I'm an idiot. Shark skin, it shouldn't shrink. It's on a shark.
It's on a shark.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Let's see. Greg, my eyes are up here. Yeah. Dale F. A dirty Jeep is a happy Jeep because you like to off-road. Is that what the deal is? Brian, hey, watching the news and they said the Webb telescope found a new picture of Uranus. Cheers and happy Friday. I'm glad you brought that up because here's this Webb telescope showing us things that are blowing our mind. And all we care about is going to see the Super Mario Brothers movie this weekend. That's really where our thoughts are, right? Who cares the universe, how it
And
started?
bitching about people's accents. Should he have sounded like
Oh,
a
really? That's happening?
stereotypical Italian? But
Is that right?
Pratt didn't. Oh yeah, there's a big hoopla, and they're saying that if he had done a "Hey, Luigi," that people probably would have been bitching about that too. So you can't win for losing these days.
Okay.
Speaking of politically correct.
Scott has been stuffing Leslie's fun bag now for a few
Oh.
weeks, and it is really full.
Oh my
All right.
gosh. I'm
Yeah.
just ah.
Oh, look at that.
wait,
That's new.
Yeah, it's a gator head. He sent me an actual gator head.
You're going to have more
but
stuff
better
than
still,
Scott.
I got a new puppet from him. And
Let's
he's
see it.
going to give Angry Mama a run for her money. So here we have dueling. Ready? Jesus.
You're going to have to build an
then you can-
addition to that room. The stuff that's coming
Yeah.
in. All right, Brian, my good
Lordy.
friend Brian checking in. Brian Chapman, good to see you. And Barb from Michigan City, Indiana. Johnny, hey, it's Johnny. Happy Easter, Johnny. Good to see you. Kissing schnauzers. All right. I want to bring
Johnny
Ryan
put together. Oh, I'm sorry.
on. No. Let's just get Mike Mascow ready because you're coming on after Ryan, Mike, and we're going to tie in the cock in just a minute here with Ryan. No, it's not dirty talk. What were you going to say?
Johnny put together a Easter basket to be blessed at his local church, and it was a Grogu Easter basket, and it looked lovely. So,
A
John,
what?
I did notice that on Facebook. Grogu
A
from Star Wars, little Yoda, the baby
Okay.
Yoda.
Okay, I'm sorry. Here's what I was thinking, Leslie. We've been talking about Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy
Have we
and
ever?
Family Feud. And these other shows that have gotten a lot of attention over the years, Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad, more people watch Wheel of Fortune every day than all those other shows combined. And I know we're all, oh, you got to see Game of Thrones. Let's be honest. The bigger audiences are with Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Family Feud.
Yep. Well, because look at Yellowstone. Hugely popular. I don't
Right.
have the platform to watch Yellowstone.
Right.
Lots of people. I mean, you have to spend $300 a month to have all the platforms so you can talk about all these shows and
Yes.
the Mad Housewives of wherever. But yeah, once again, it's that broadcasting that is getting lost.
Okay, so we try to talk to the broader sector of the audience, and we're not going to get so niche. I do watch Yellowstone, but it's on my system. I didn't pay extra for it. Okay, where are we? We're going to talk to Ryan. Yes, because, hey, Ryan. Okay, here's what's going on. Ryan's son, Hank, they had the Passion of the Christ at school.
He made this little book.
Okay, and when it came to in my day, the cock crowed. Now, is it one time, 2 times, 3 times a lady? What's going on?
3 times
Peter-
before the rooster crowed.
What's
Peter
3 times
denies
before?
Jesus.
Peter denies Jesus 3 times, and then the in the book now it's the rooster.
Yes, it's the rooster. And then here's the visual.
Okay, so they've taken cock out.
Yes, they've taken cock out of the pamphlet here.
What the HE double hockey sticks? When I was in grade school and the cock crowed, and I don't remember anybody go. They said cock. I don't even think I knew what that was. I mean that cock. I'm in church.
How did Hank absorb it though? He didn't use rooster or cock. How did
he said
explain it?
Chickens clucked. That's how we first got the story. Peter didn't know Jesus, and the chickens clucked 3 times.
The chickens clucked.
Jamie and I went, chickens cluck, huh? And then, so he was way off. We're way off from cock if we're doing chickens clucking.
Oh my God! Hail Mary, full of grace. There's womb in there. There's the word womb.
Yes.
Thy womb.
Yes.
What?
A lot of these and thous are being replaced these days too.
Why?
Because we want to simplify things for people so that eventually we will just communicate by going.
Yeah, we're regressing so fast. We'll be beating on rocks in about 5 years and trying to discover fire.
But then
so we can have local news stories. What's that?
Kiss from Judas. So that's still there.
I'm surprised. Is that a man kissing a man? Oh, that's got to go.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's okay. We need to embrace a guy kissing a guy.
Okay.
Because of inclusivity, that's okay.
But then you got to put the cock back in if you got guys kissing. You don't take the cock out if... I'm not going to go outside after the show because I know there's a...
You're going to get struck by lightning. So it was quite the week. It's Holy Week in bowling, so it's been quite the week at the Corcoranouts.
Holy Week in bowling. Your wife and son are spending so much time at the bowling alley that they've got their own tutor.
They do, and she's got his number, and he's 30 years old. So.
Okay, I don't want to say anything because none of my business, but just before the show started, Ryan goes, well, Jamie called, and they have a guy that's helping us with bowling, and Ryan says, well, how old is he? Give me a ballpark. And she go, I don't know, 30? Oh, okay.
He was very, very helpful, and she has his number. She texted me.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
Great. Sounds good.
Hey, little lady, let me put on these shoes for you, and then I'll stand behind you and show you proper form.
Right. See these 3 holes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me your hand. What about the bowling ball? Oh, yeah, right. Okay. All right.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Woo! I think I'm high on cold medicine or something, and that's fine. That goes well with a Manhattan. So, Ryan, we're going to come back to you in just a bit, and you're going to do the Wisconsin report, and you're going to show Hank busting a move.
I am.
Yeah. That boy is something.
He is something for.
He is. He's good. All
and
right.
I have the nasal irrigation too. So
we're going to talk nasal irrigation. All right, the complaints are coming in. Donna already sick. I know.
Yeah,
I know. I know. I need help. I admit it. Okay, our good friend Mike Mascow is here. Happy Easter, Mike. Well, you are a Greek Easter guy, right?
Only this week.
Why?
Because we have no family around to celebrate with, so we're doing it the following weekend. But it has nothing to do with being Greek or anything else.
All right, you're just going to barge in on the Greeks.
We're gonna borrow. Why not? Try something new.
No problem.
As it is, I think just watching this show, I would have to do 5 rosaries first before I went to church. So
yeah, I just feel my knuckles burning from a ruler talking because the nun that I have over me right now in my head is banging my fist, going, "Know what you say what you know. Know what you say what you know."
Did you wear the shark pants to a parochial school?
No, this was a public high school.
Okay.
Tinley Park High School, Tinley Park, Illinois. No, I would have never gotten away with that for one day.
They would have yanked you. Yeah. Dippity doo in that long hair and sent you home.
Oh, yeah. And
a barrette. Yeah.
That reminds me of this joke that it was alleged that this disc jockey in Chicago said many years ago and got him fired, but it was just urban legend. This was in the early 60s, so you can imagine that things weren't as crazy as they are now as far as talking on the radio. And it went that he said, this is the joke, what will happen if girls' skirts get any shorter? And the punchline is more cheeks to powder, more hair to comb. Now, then he got fired, they said. But then I found out later he got fired because he punched a salesman in the face. And that was just urban legend. But I'll never forget that joke. And that's many years ago. It's one of those things where you just don't forget it because it's, oh my God, that's terrific. And then later on, we would say stuff like that as part of the show. And
well, you invented it. You and
well,
your former radio partner invented that.
We got a little dark, dirty, but we were just having a good time. And then the FCC did come down and said that was too much of a good time. So we backed off and then
always a fine line.
But listen to this. Ford, starting with the 2024 models, will not have AM radio in the car. What does that say?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
So, I guess there's no big deal. People don't care. It was first they came from my cassette
Even
player.
people on AM radio don't care anymore.
Pretty much.
So.
They don't even know. They're in such a vacuum. First they came from my cassette player and I said nothing. Then they came from my CD player. They don't have any of those things anymore. No CD, nothing. Because they figure everybody's doing it by streaming
internet. Yep.
And so, but that's got to be pretty weird. I guess they're going to have FM. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no
weird.
AM signal.
That's weird because sometimes you drive in places and there's no signal to be had.
Well, they might as well they said get rid of it altogether. You don't need that static when you go under a viaduct. That's so 20th century.
I thought they made AM static free and stereo and all kinds of
advancements. Okay, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they did. They made it talent free. I know. Ooh, Garry. Ooh, oh man.
Bang, well, all the talent moved to the podcast world. That's
bang,
what
bang, bang. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Mike, we haven't seen you in a while. I hope you've been well.
Very well. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here.
Mike, it's a pleasure. I'm honored that you're on the program and you're going to give away some gift cards a little bit here in a little bit. But first, we're going to run some slides and talk about what's going on with you.
You bet. Yeah, I figure we'll catch everybody up on what's happening here. And then you don't have to look at my ugly mug as much.
Well, not the ugly mug, but the good mug that I have, GarrForce mug. Well, boop, boop. What was wrong with me? Okay.
I've been fasting today and I realized this wine is going to my head. So maybe that has something to do.
Yeah, I fast on Tuesdays and then I reward myself at the end of the day with a drink. And about 3 minutes later, wow. Okay.
Fast medicine.
Yeah.
Granny Clampett's medicine. All right.
New.
Roll it. Let's see. We've got some new arrivals. So we have something we're calling a special bold blend. If nobody has tried it yet from the listening audience, I highly encourage it. Sue and I have been drinking it every day, and it is fantastic. It's for those who like a little bit stronger, lack of better words, bolder coffee. We're putting it in all our K-Cup pods now. So if you get our K-Cup pods, the pre-made K-Cup pods, you should notice a little more pop, a little more flavor. And these special bold blends, the beans that we're using allows us to offer something that people have been asking for, which is half calf. So we've made a half calf light roast, dark roast, and espresso roast. So give those a roll. Half calf.
I've never heard of that.
Well, for people, who, trust me, if you get the regular special bold blend, you'll probably be digging for a bag of half calf after, because the special bold blend has got a little more caffeine in it. Yeah.
All right.
For those people who like a little more kick.
And you know who likes the bold blend? Terry Savage, the financial reporter.
Bingo.
Mike sent her some coffee and she called him and said, "Hey, I like really strong coffee." And you thought, okay, and you sent her some, and I think it hit the spot then.
Yeah,
she's all dialed up with numbers. She needs to get way up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, don't blame her, right?
No, that's why her last name is Savage, because she's the savage truth. Okay,
she is.
What else is on there?
So bringing in these bolder blends, these are coffees that went off the charts before we got onto the GarrForce, but so people are probably looking at me going, "What are these coffees here?" But we used to have something
also
called.
Going, who's Sue? Sue is Mike's lovely wife, because you said you have it with Sue, and we don't. Yes. Who's this man having coffee with?
It's the lady I sleep with.
Okay,
been sleeping with her for a while.
All right.
Italian blend is back. If anybody remembers that, if you were with us back, say over a year ago. House blend is another one of our special bold blends, and I don't believe it's on the website yet, but we are coming out with a new rendition of something we call Java Gold, and I'm calling it Mike's Java Gold because it's a little bit different. But we just had that this morning, and I'm telling you what, that stuff is fantastic. So
yeah,
take a look for if the Java Gold's not there yet, it'll be there very, very soon. So
I would like to see in the Mario Brothers sequel the Italian blend used in the sequel. Yeah.
Right.
Talking about Italian and all this. How about the Mario Brothers?
Forget about it. Yeah. All right.
Baby. All right. Next slide.
Okay, so some new Coffee for Cause programs that we're working with here. Pat Boquist is a member of the Barrington Breakfast Rotary Club and a GarrForce fan. She's out there probably right now, hopefully watching. And she reached out to me and said, "Hey, how about we get together and do a Coffee for Cause program with the Barrington Breakfast Rotary Club?" So shout out to her saying thank you very much for reaching out to me, Pat. And we have if we use a coupon code BBRC, a portion of our proceeds goes back to the Barrington Breakfast Rotary Club. And that's through coffeeforcause.org that you'll find that. And Pat is doing a 50-50 raffle. I just wanted to promote that for her if we could here, since she's such a loyal GarrForce fan. They are doing a 50-50 raffle with a limited number of tickets. I believe the number is 400 tickets at $100 each. So half the pot is yours to one lucky winner. And that should equate to, in my math, doing it $20,000. So if you scan that code right there, or you just go to the Barrington Breakfast Rotary Club, barringtonbreakfastrotary.org website, you'll find out more about it, and you can participate. And they're doing a nice wine tasting. I don't know when the wine tasting was. I think sometime in April. Pat, maybe you could chime in, but that's included if you buy a ticket. So,
all right. And Barrington is a northern suburb of Chicago.
Yeah, it's right down the street from me, actually, where we live, and it just happens to be the place that I grew up for the first 18 years of my life, or darn close to it. And so it has kind of a nice, welcome home feeling for me. But the Rotary clubs are just awesome organizations. In particular, they're all about fundraising and helping, and we give them a big round of applause for everything that they do and they support. So,
all right, that's what Mike does, and we are happy to show that on the screen. What else you got?
So this is a new sponsorship for us. This is the Mike Wintz race team. He's a part of the Mid-Am Racing Series that's kind of taken the nation by storm here, or at least the Midwest. A little bit of a tie-in here to the GarrForce show. For those of you who don't know, Leslie.
He happens to be a relative. And I support this team wholeheartedly. And Mike Wentz is an amazing guy. And he's got a great car this year. And oh my gosh. And the fact that it wasn't through me that this relationship developed with you guys, but this is a great race team. And if you can get out there, and apparently the logo on the car is supposed to kick ass. So it's just
the Roast to Order logo.
Roast to Order will be on the car. It's one of the sponsors of the car, and you'll be able to. The cool part is it's very family oriented, very family friendly. And by the way, before I forget, it's Mike's birthday today, so happy birthday to Mike.
It is. Happy birthday.
So it's versus taking your family, and nothing against professional football, professional baseball, any of these other sports, but who can really afford to take their family to out to Wrigley, with a big family of kids, and buy hot dogs and Cokes and everything else that you're going to be buying for them. The Mid-Am Racing Series is, I call it NASCAR light. It's kind of like the farm leagues for NASCAR. The cars don't go quite as fast, but let me tell you, 140 miles an hour, if I was behind the wheel of it, that would probably be, feel like, I couldn't handle that. But
and like you said, Mike, it's really affordable. It's very family oriented. You can get out there, have a great evening of racing, and it doesn't have to break the bank. So, yay.
How much is it, Mike?
How much is it to go to a race?
The entry level price.
Each event is different, but I think that Leslie, you tell me, is it like around $20 or something like that?
$20, yes. If you want pit passes, it'll cost you a little bit more, but you can go and actually talk to the racers and see them, come in and out and get a whole new feel for racing. And it's actually just a lot of fun.
Get up and close in person with the driver, the car. The drivers give autographs and spend time with the kids and stuff like that. So it's really
and Mike
cool.
is awesome. Sweet guy, awesome guy. Yes, of course he's family, but he's also, like you said, they'll invite you in. You can learn as you go, and it's a really fun thing to get involved in.
All right. Well, good luck, Mike, with that sponsorship.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And, check out the website if you want to find more about the event schedule. The first race is coming up on April 22nd, which is just a few weeks away. The last thing that I want to mention here, or second to last thing actually, is another roast to order customer who reached out to me, George, and I've got to open up my phone, crapped out here a little bit on me. Skidleric, George, great guy. He's a roast to order customer, and he has as his own Spotify podcast called F Cubed. Go there, find it. It's another family oriented, clean, thing to enjoy. Family, faith, and fun is F Cubed. And they have a mission going to Guatemala to build homes, and Coffee for Cause, roast to order coffee, is supporting F Cubed. And a portion of our proceeds, when you use the coupon code F Cubed or go through coffeeforcause.org, will go to help them pay for the trip to Guatemala. So, and this is an ongoing thing that they'll be doing. So, I like to profile and highlight people who are doing really cool stuff like this. And I wish I had the energy to go build homes anywhere, but in Guatemala in particular, I take my hat off to these folks. And
yeah, our show is faith, family, and friends too. I think a lot of people have stopped me and said, boy, when I'm listening to your show, I just see Jesus.
Yeah, especially that first 30 minutes of the show.
Yeah,
totally.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for letting me watch the GarrForce. All right, and finally,
I just want to wish my wife a happy birthday a little early. Her birthday is April 14th. So, Sue, happy birthday to you. Thank you for all you do, supporting me and making all of this all possible. So,
thank you, Mike, for supporting us. And my wife and I had lunch with Sue and Mike a few weeks back, and we really enjoyed that. And happy birthday. Hope it's a good one for her.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you guys. I've really enjoyed being here. So, and thank everybody, all the great support, the comments every week. I come on and watch, and people are always commenting about roast to order and stuff.
All right, and we're going to make somebody $25 into roast to order coffee and tea with gift cards. And Mike has requested that if you have ordered from roast to order, would you give somebody else a chance to win these gift cards so they can experience how delicious the coffee and tea is, if you could do that. So if you're of that, what's that?
It's voluntary.
Well, it's an honor system. Yeah, I can't go and check, but people are pretty honest on this program.
Absolutely.
Let's find out. Alan, what should we do as far as the phrase that pays?
Let's go with hashtag roast, the number 2, order.
All right.
And that's an O, not a 0. So it's roast to order with a hashtag in front. Spelling counts, spacing counts.
All right, put that in the queue, and then in a few minutes, we'll spin that computer and get some winners.
Awesome.
How many, Mike?
We'll do 4 of them. We'll do 4 $25 gift cards.
All right.
So people can try that out. And if you want to give your guest that's coming on tonight, if you want to have him send you his email address, share it with me. I'll make sure he gets a gift card as well.
I will do that, and he will be thrilled. I taped this interview a few weeks ago, and some of it is not going to make it to air because we got into a long tangent on the assassination of John F. Kennedy, and Chuck doesn't believe in the one-man shooter theory, so that went out into wherever. And I thought, well, on Good Friday, I don't know if I have the capacity and the listeners have the capacity to go Kennedy assassination. So we took that out. But let me just say that he doesn't think it was just one shooter.
See,
or coincidentally enough,
if we had a premium tier, Gary, we could offer that as a bonus extra
someday. Oddly, coincidentally enough, the Chicago Bulls and the Dallas Mavericks are playing in Dallas, and Chuck told me that every time they do play the Mavericks, he goes down to Dealey Plaza I don't know if he's got his tape measure out and he's taking measurements.
Wow.
And yeah, every time he said they go to Dallas, he's there. He goes down where Kennedy was shot, and because that's in his book.
Broadcast from the book depository. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. We're from the book depository building. I can't believe one man can shoot that many people in that short of a time. And anywho, I kind of trimmed it down to make it a little more Friday friendly, shall we speak. Okay. All right, Mike. What are we doing here, Alan?
Let's do the drawing while Mike's still here.
All right.
Awesome.
Let's see. It's this button over here, and then we're good over there, and we'll take this one off the screen. All right, here we go. And we'll do 4 of them, right? Here we go. Number 1.
Number 1. Mike, you want to say hello to somebody?
To any of these folks in particular?
No, I'm doing Price is Right. That's what what's his name?
Scott Brown. All right.
Scott Brown.
Scott Brownie.
So, Scott, you and all the winners need to email us at GarryMeierShow@GarryMeyer.com or text 773-888-2157. Regular charges apply. Mention that you won the roast to order drawing. And what do you need to take care of them, Mike? Just an email address?
Just need that email address. Gary will send it over to me then. And, or they can include me. They can CC me as well as if they want. info@roasttoorder.shop or it'd be fine.
I'll get it to you, Mike, and then you electronically send the card to them.
Send the card, and I'll do a follow-up email to make sure that they got it. And if for whatever reason it's getting caught up in spam filters or whatever, and they're unable to find it, we'll find another way to get it to them. It's no big deal.
All right, let's go with number 2.
Yeah. Catherine. All right,
Catherine.
She is a regular viewer, so always good to see them win. And you just heard what to do, Catherine. All right, so let's reload.
Number 3.
Number 3. Doggy. It's Doggy.
Doggy.
All right, Doggy. You know what to do.
All right.
All right.
And number 4.
All right, here we go. All right. It got stuck there.
Gotta wait for the confetti. Gotta wait for the confetti.
Patty, you know what to do. Natalie. And congratulations to everybody. All right, Mike, thank you. We'll talk to you again next month. How about it, huh?
Absolutely. Happy Easter to everybody, or whatever you celebrate, and happy whatever Friday it is today. Nice. Look at Leslie. All right. Love it.
She's got her ears.
She's a bunny.
Hey, she is.
Very good.
Thanks, Mike.
See y'all.
All right. Ryan, hello again. And you're going to roll your report. But before you do that, let's pay homage to the fine sponsors of the GarrForce Cocktail Show, starting with Bettenhausen Automotive.
Bettenhausen Dodge is putting out the last call on all editions of new Dodge Chargers and Challengers. This is absolutely your last chance to join America's ultimate high-performance driving legacy. Your best buying experience starts now at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
All right, we did our roast to order homage, and thank you, Mike, again for your participation. Always a pleasure. Roast2order.com. That's the number 2. There it is. Order up. Delicious. And Team Hochberg. David Hochberg and his team can get you through this fugazi that is the rates and the banks and the bop, bada boop, bada beep. Those are the numbers. Free consultation. Got nothing to lose. Call for that and see where you're at as far as buying and your rate. And then hopefully you will do business with this man. He's been doing this for a long time. He's seen just about everything. He said 2008 was the worst meltdown he's ever seen. They got through that with his clients, and they can get through this, whatever this is. All right. All right, Ryan. Do you want to start with the report or show us Hank? What do you want to do?
Let's do Hank. Let's show Hank real quick.
Yeah. All right. Hank was at the bowling alley, which he seems to be a lot.
Yeah.
And how did this all start? What happened here?
He's pretty into when he hears music. He just spontaneously
He has to bust a move.
Yes. So Jamie sends me this.
Wow.
And I actually trimmed that up a little bit. It was like 45 seconds. So
I think I could have watched another 30 seconds of that. Come on. Is that the ball you bought him?
That's the ball number 2. That's the one that hooks. So he has a regular ball, and then Jamie bought him the one that's the one that hooks.
What? The ball that hooks. What does that mean?
Yes, he's got 2.
Okay. Why does he need to have one that? What's the hooking ball?
Is he
that's kind of like what the pros do. You know, they throw it down and then it hooks. So he got a hooking ball. So he was actually bowling before the holes were drilled with it because he can do the two-handed down the lane. So
then he starts busting moves and then throws the ball. He's got a whole repertoire going.
And then Jamie said, "Well, let me get a bag and we can put both of our balls in it together." And I said to her, "What kid wants to share a bag with his mom?" So that was probably not a popular statement.
Okay. And they're there right now.
They
with
are
their instructor.
With their instructors. So I'll
30-year-old instructor.
Right. Yes. He's very helpful. He's very helpful.
I bet he is.
Very helpful. Got his number. Call him anytime. He's good to go.
And you were talking earlier in the week about nasal irrigation, and Jamie had picked this little gem up.
That's the one I've seen advertised.
Yeah, Navage. And it collects all of the contaminants down on the bottom, which is pretty gross. But
so you put that on a table, and then you put your
nose in
your nostrils, and then you turn it on, and it just evacuates everything.
Right, and then it goes into this little collection thing. So it's
you would have thought they made that bottom part opaque, right? Just to show you a shade level for it. But
really, you can see it. Yeah, it's. I went in the other room when she did it.
That's kind of wrong.
I just couldn't deal with it.
How long does it take to do the full evacuation or irrigation?
Maybe a minute and a half.
Yeah. I gotta say, I've done the
and there's a little salt mix. There's a thing that you mix in with a packet, and
then, I've got that one where you do it in the shower.
It is.
Yeah, that thing.
Here,
and you just do
so
it.
You're neti potting.
Yeah,
and this is how you end up with brain amoebas that eat your
seriously
brains.
Yeah. So there's the little gizmo. Hope it's clean. Just stick it right in there. And, it's clear, as Alan said. It's clear.
That's real clear.
Like a newlywed on their honeymoon, putting that thing up against their nose. The thrill would be gone in a week. If you saw
it was like she said
it,
but it helped. I mean, it helped. She had a cold, but as I said, you just do that somewhere else. I don't need to.
I had some nasal surgery done several years ago, and they packed all this gauze in there, and then I went back the next day and they took it out, and it's about 50 feet long, and it's like starting a lawnmower. You start pulling it, but it felt so tingly. It's one of those things where when you press on your belly button, that tingling, you can't quite describe it. It was like that, and I would imagine there's some of that in
I think there's some of that, and and it's got batteries in it, so it kind of pumps it through. So it's quite the the gizmo. But when you were talking about that, I thought,
you got it.
How much does a Navage set you back?
$99.
Really? Wow, that's serious evacuation.
Or easy payments of $25 each. Okay, got it.
Available at your fine drugstores.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
So you got your report ready?
I do.
All right. Here we go with the Wisconsin report.
Wisconsin, hey.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Wisconsin. Welcome to April. Hopefully spring is here for good. Well, if you like maple syrup on your pancakes this year, it might take a little more effort to get that maple syrup to you. The production of maple syrup, especially in Wisconsin, is flowing much slower because the seasons have been fighting, which has slowed down the flow of the sap out of the tree. The article says 42.5 gallons of sap you need to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. So that's a lot of sap to make some maple syrup that goes on your pancakes. They said they'll have to see how the production tapers out here because the season's almost over. So maybe we'll see an increase in price in maple syrup, or maybe you'll have to choose something else to put on your pancakes, maybe Nutella. I'm not sure how that would taste, but everybody seems to like Nutella. We're seeing more and more things are becoming junior or cheaper, but their size have been shrinking. Well, you could go to the Milwaukee Brewers game on Sunday, and hey, it's cheaper trying to be more affordable for the fans, but everything's junior. So you can get a junior hot dog, a junior nachos, or a junior Cracker Jack. I wonder how big that box of Cracker Jacks are. That big? Everything's $4. So they're trying to get people in the door, yet everything is looking smaller for $4. I hope the Easter Bunny is good to you this week, and we'll talk next week.
A lot of shrinkage out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you were tiny, Ryan. There was mini Ryan there for a second. Yeah.
But yeah, they were talking about, oh, come out to, for a family experience, and everything's on the menu is junior. I mean, I guess it's good
but
for
the prices
kids,
are the same.
No,
Yeah.
it's $4. $4.
What was it usually?
15. A beer and a hot dog and stuff.
Yeah, but it's probably so small that you're going to go, I wasn't satisfied. I'm going to get 2 or 3 more. And
right.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
Have a good Easter. All right. And now let's visit with the Bulls announcer, Chuck Swirsky. My guest tonight is the voice of the Chicago Bulls. He has a book out, an autobiography, if you will, called Always a Pleasure. It is a pleasure to welcome my former colleague, Chuck Swirsky. Chuck, welcome.
Garry, good to see you. Thank you.
Yeah, and by former, I'm maybe using that a little loosely. I think we worked together for a cup of coffee many years ago, but I am mentioned in the book, so it must have made a mark.
Yes. Well, I mean, listen, Garry, as we both know, that was an era in not only radio and Chicago, but really the foundation of what you and Steve and the Loop was all about. And it has left an indelible mark, not only in our city, but also planted the seeds for future generations of communicators. And it all started with you and Steve and the culture of the Loop.
Yes, this was the station, not just because we were on it back in the day. And I noticed when I traveled around the country, I'd listen to the radio and I thought, it sounds like these people are doing an imitation of because I heard some of our material coming through 2 weeks later on a station across the country, that kind of thing. But anyway, that's where we met. And you have gone on and made something of yourself. I have not reached that point yet. Someday I will. You're a Hall of Famer. And that is because of the body of work you have assembled over the years. Let me start with this. This, as we tape, is in the middle of all of this college basketball frenzy. You would know the answer to this better than I would. Has college basketball always been supernova, or is this, say, something from the last 20 years? You worked in college radio. Tell me about what's happened here, why it is this. It is huge.
Well, it is huge, and it's getting bigger because there's a ton of money now with the NIL, the name, image, likeness. Kids are being paid now, and I get it, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. I think that it's probably going to turn out, Garry, to be a have and have-nots, because I think the big schools with big programs have more to offer than mid-majors and small markets. But that's a story for another day. But I mean, I think the college game itself, you cannot compare that to the NBA level, because we're dealing with men at the NBA level, physical specimens that play above the rim, where college kids are still trying to figure things out. But it's still a good game. And the Final Four has brought out different storylines this year. Actually, a storyline that I've never seen in my lifetime with these schools that have percolated over the last, 3-4 months to reach a Final Four in Houston.
Well, when this airs, we're pre-taping. This is going to air after it's all over, so we don't know what the outcome is, and it will sound like, wait, don't you guys know? By paying the players, what does that mean, Chuck? Does it mean that each player will get the same amount of money, or is it based on skill? How does that work?
No, well, I'll give you an example. Let's say Gary Meier is a big-time star at Tech University. And so the university is saying, listen, you know what, if we can get a sponsor to come in or a couple of sponsors and start offering endorsement deals. So Gary Meier will sign posters at the college bookstore. He'll endorse a fast food chain. And all of a sudden, the money starts rolling in. Now, for some of the kids, what they've done, or if a sponsor donates money to the program, all the kids get something. And I'm talking about men's programs and women's programs. There may be just an individual side deal. So this isn't, everybody's not getting paid. So I don't want to paint that picture. But you had the Alabama quarterback with an NIL deal, and he got paid. And it happens to be a situation where if you're really, really talented and you're really skilled and you're at a very high tier at the college game, you're probably going to get something. Where beforehand, when in our generation and generations before us, Gary, where if you had a player that was really good, a top 50 recruit, chances are, not everyone, but chances are that player was getting something on the side. Either a booster was slipping him money, a booster was taking care of his meals, somebody was paying for new clothes, a suit, a couple of sweaters or more. That's how it rolled.
All right. Well, money obviously is always the fuel. And let's say that gambling is probably the real catalyst in why the college basketball scene has exploded. And I'm a pedestrian sports fan, Chuck, and I found myself parked at a number of these games as they were running, and they were exciting. And it's one of those things where you go, oh, I should have a bracket, right? Yeah. Everybody's got a bracket. That whole bracket thing became part of Americana. Yes. And you can't escape it. But anyway, let's get the basketball connection. You go from Michigan to Toronto.
Yep.
Did that job open up? You heard about it and apply. How did that sequence happen, Chuck?
Well, so I was happy at the University of Michigan. I loved doing their games. I was doing morning drive sports at WJR in Detroit. And the Toronto job opens and someone says, you should go for it. And then the Sacramento Kings job opened up as a backup to do about 25 games and the rest do ancillary type of shows. So I said, what the heck, I'll apply. And next thing I know, they call back and said, we want an interview. And so I drove on the 401 from Michigan to Toronto and loved the city. People were great. And I had a second interview, and then they offered me the job, and I was there 10 years.
And then the Bulls job opens up, and you think, oh, back to Chicago? How did that happen?
Well, it was, it was really, really hard because I loved Toronto. I actually, Gary, became a Canadian citizen while I was in Toronto because I thought I would never leave. And then the Bulls called. And, honestly, the Bulls are the Bulls. And I know we're in a different era altogether. And the Jordan era has, been over since 1998. And I get all that. But being back in the city and the brand, the Bulls brand, is so strong. And it remains one of the best brands ever in professional sports, created by the Jordan years. And I'll be the first to admit that. But it's something about going into an arena, whether it's LA, whether it's Boston, whether it's New York, or whether it's a small market like San Antonio, and you see people wearing Bulls jerseys. And whether that's 23 for Jordan, 33 for Pippen, number 1 for Rose, number 13 for Noah, 21 for Butler, and now Beverly. It's amazing, where you see Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan jerseys. So, it was too much for me to say no.
Yeah, well, I'm going to spend some time on this because this is really an astounding run of a team. And I referred to Jordan and Pippen and Rodman and the team as the Black Beatles because when they would go into a town, it was a frenzy for the Bulls. Yeah. And let me see if I'm remembering this correctly. I don't know. You can clean it up for me. Did Pippen and Jordan want to leave the Bulls in '98? Because I heard they got rid of them so they could rebuild, and we're 25 years down the road, as you mentioned, and still rebuilding. What's going on there? Well, and why wouldn't a Jordan or Pippen go to a Knicks or a Lakers team and finish out their career. I didn't understand that.
Here's the thing. Number one, Jordan would never do that. Jordan would never go to a ready-made team. That wasn't his thing. Jordan, I think, remember he cut his finger, and he wouldn't have been able to play for the majority of 98, 99. And then we had a lockout anyway. So that's one storyline. The other storyline is that Pippen physically was starting to break down, and he wanted max money. Well, for an aging player to give him that kind of contract, you really have to look in the mirror and say, okay, like if there's no Jordan and, our cap situation is fluid, where are we going with this? And as it turns out, Scotty went to Houston. He got his money, ends up going to Portland, comes back to the Bulls in the twilight of his career to finish it out. And so he got paid. At the end of the day, he got paid, and he still has 6 rings. So I think it worked out for everybody, Gary.
As we wrap up here, and everybody can read more about Chuck's life in his book, Always a Pleasure, there is a theory that you were a template for that Superfans SNL bit. Do you know this?
Yes.
Bob Odenkirk based his character on you, and that was, if you don't know, from years ago, the Bears, the Bulls.
Yep.
Are you aware of that? And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's flattering to say the least. I mean, and I remember I ran into George Wendt when this was going on. And he came, I was doing play-by-play for DePaul, and DePaul was at Pepperdine. And Pepperdine's located in Malibu, California. And he was at the game. And I went over to him, and he's surrounded by Hollywood types and friends. And he attended the game simply because it was Chicago, DePaul, Pepperdine, in proximity to where he lived in Southern California. And I went up to him and I said, Mr. Wendt, I didn't call him George, because I was a little intimidated. And I said, Mr. Wendt, my name's Chuck Swirsky, the Bears, your Chicago theme. And he goes, okay. And he goes, I know who you are. And I said, wow, okay.
All right.
And so the sports information director of Pepperdine took a picture, and I said, would you mind if he sent this picture to you? Would you autograph it? And he goes, I'd love to. So sure enough, I'm thinking, well, this is never going to happen. I mean, what are the chances of, number one, the SID, Sports Information Director, taking the picture, getting the picture, then putting it in an envelope, sending it to George Wendt's, agent, the agent giving it to George Wendt signing, and then the reversal of putting it in a mailbox. Well, sure enough, about a month later, I get it in the mail, and I still have it. It's on my wall from one Swirsky to another.
The Bulls. All right, Chuck, continued success. Onions, baby, onions. That's one of your catchphrases, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. The book is always a pleasure, and it has been a pleasure to see you again, Chuck.
Gary, my pleasure. You're awesome, and continued success. Good health to you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you. That last 90 seconds was as complex as the Zapruder film on that picture. I didn't quite follow why that all was or seemed so complicated, as if cameras were such a primitive thing. He took the picture. I took it, and then it went by boop, bada beep.
Well, and here's the joy of our show. If you miss something, wait an hour or so, pull it back up, and you can rewatch that and Zapruder it yourself. And then,
well,
and apparently Chuck's into Zaprudering, so it seems
some of
only
the
proper.
like I said, the Kennedy assassination, there was 8 minutes on that, and I thought, I can't on a Friday. My head will explode. But Chuck, thank you for doing that, and we have some stories that you've assembled, right?
Do we? Well, let's
keep
it brief.
I heard the tone. at the top of the hour. It's up
I
to
know
you.
I don't want to stretch this out too long, but
All right, that's up
what
to you.
say we set up the final giveaway before I start any
Let's do that.
stories?
Let's do that. Then we'll
And
do,
with
let's
that,
say we do one story to get everybody queued up, and then boom.
you know, I do have a Good Friday story, and the
Do
rest
it.
stick around and
Yeah.
listen on Monday
Yeah, I'll
because
put 'em on
I'll
Monday
use
show.
the ones that we teased this morning. But okay, so we have a
That.
condom. We have a ball liquor. We have our favorite house band. Oh yes, a
T-shirt. Or
T-shirt.
is that a sweatshirt? T-shirt?
It's a T-shirt. It's a V-neck. It's a woman's medium. In case that is going to change anything for you. Hey, if it doesn't fit you, give it to a friend. We have an oh yes sticker. There you go. Thanks to some of our generous donors, we have a slime-filled Easter egg from Tracy from Wisconsin. She has sent us bendables. I'm sending you 2 bendables, and they have googly eyes. How much fun is that? New this week, tattoos. This one's of Ganesha, apparently. But there are others. There are all sorts of tattoos. I'm sending out packs of, I don't know, 10. I didn't count it. It's don't worry about it. It's fun.
It's good.
Scott from Scott's Vintage Antiques and Collectibles, in addition to sending me my newest puppet, has sent us a whoopee cushion that I'm giving away. And in our fun bag, our grab bag go fun, a do-it-yourself garden. Look at their gardening gloves.
I love garden gloves
and a
when
bag
I
of
do
seeds.
weed whacking.
Isn't that, I mean,
Yeah.
Lordy,
Yeah, you gotta have
isn't
them.
that
Yep.
just perfect? So there, that's your
Wow.
spring fling package right there. It is massive. And I think we're just going to go with #fun.
That's it. #fun.
There you go.
That's very
Keeping it
simple.
simple.
Put that in the queue, and then the computer will pick in just a minute or so. Leslie, what's that perfect story for Friday?
So, despite requests from church leaders, 8 men in the Philippines were nailed to crosses today to reenact the crucifixion of Jesus. Thousands of tourists and faithful descended on a small farming village north of Manila to watch as 8 men were first tied to the crosses before having nails driven through their palms. They were then hoisted into place where they remained for a brief while, paying penance for their collective sins. In the days preceding, Catholic clergy tried to dissuade anyone from taking part in the spectacle, suggesting that acts of charity are a better way to show devotion. Things like, I don't know, feeding the hungry or donating blood. But
Okay,
they
so
nail themselves.
we embrace Civil War reenactment, but we don't embrace the crucifixion.
Well, it would be like doing a Civil War reenactment with real bullets, just small
I
ones.
say, okay, and I approve of that. I'd like to see that. I
You
go
like that?
watch
Well,
that.
we did have a story this recently where they did a Civil War reenactment and somebody brought like some sort of squibs to the, I don't know how it worked out, but somebody ended up getting shot in the foot and it wasn't what they planned. But
All right, Alec Baldwin breath. Hey, speaking of Michael
yeah,
Jordan.
I mean, to do a, what?
What? Nailed to the cross.
Your
Yeah, I don't
show.
understand when they're pounding those nails in your palms and your feet. Come on.
Here's the thing. Can I shed a little information on y'all?
Sure.
Sciencey stuff. They didn't nail you through your palms because otherwise the nail would have slid right up through your fingers, right? They nailed you through your wrist. You want to talk about something that had to hurt like hell? They nailed you through your wrist. Those Romans.
It'd slip up through your fingers.
Right, because the way there's nothing that would hold it in place if they just did your palm. So they would do your wrists. And yeah, talk about like man's inhumanity to man. That one's a killer, literally.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, did you see this story that just came out? A guy broke into his house in the northern suburbs of Chicago. The house has been on the market for about 10 years. He hasn't been able to sell it.
At least.
And
yeah,
that's what happens when a house is vacant for that long. This guy, nobody's around. I'm going to break in. And I don't know what he was going to steal or he just walked around. but this just happened the last day. Sell the thing, Michael. Go take a loss. You can afford it.
Well,
you're paying taxes. It's like filling your gas tank with the engine running.
The fact he built a full-size basketball court there might have been one of those things where I don't know that this is going to make it really. How do you convert that space into like a fun room or something?
Yeah, it's a little. The whole complex is 56,000 square feet. And here's a guy who plays basketball for a living. He comes home and wants to play basketball. I mean, really?
Yeah.
So you have this regular size or this gymnasium that's regulation size for what? And now you're trying to dump it. Imagine the heating bill, as us Catholics say.
Well, and that's the thing. And you have to heat and cool it. Otherwise, the pipes are going to freeze or things are going to break.
At least it'll be sweaty in there when you do play horse. Let's hit the computer and give away the bag. Huh?
I want to think that Michael plays horse. That would be
I don't know
fun.
what else you would do after you've played a full game. Come home. I want to play another game. Here we go. Hit it, Alan. Chris from Gilbert, Arizona.
Oh, I can't wait to send this across the country.
Yeah. All right, Chris. You know what to do, right?
Same deal as before. Email Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com or text 773-888-2157. Regular charges may apply.
All right, that's it. Time to take the cannoli coming down the aisle. It is complimentary. And what about the schnauzer?
Do whatever you want with it. For God's sake, don't nail the schnauzer. Because
okay. Well, that's to be interpreted. All right, 3 in the green. Gear is down, flaps are down. Happy Passover, Ramadan, Easter. Talk to you on Monday. The GarrForce has landed.
Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And please tell your friends and family to like and subscribe too.
YouTube.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel. That's what you should do. That's where we gather. Boom. Shakalaka.